and the only way out of the game is from inside the game, right? So we have to say, okay, now we're in there now. How do I break the fourth wall? We don't really care about that right now. What we really care about is being able to replace all this stuff with render dot command prompt and pass in the shiny new command parser. Oops. Hold on. Let's keep it outside for right now because it's not the only thing. If it was the only parameter, I don't mind doing a new inside of there. But since we're passing in more than one thing, it's definitely better to kind of break it up. So command parser goes in, hive mind goes in, the room goes in, and Gary goes in. All right, so let's go ahead and give ourselves some breathing room. So we took a lot of that kind of manual typed out command stuff and we made it a recursive function. We used our render class, and it's getting cleaner and cleaner. Eventually, all you want to see here is something that loads a user and draws the world, right? So very nearly just like 3 or 4 lines of code and your game is initialized efficiently using the Flyweight pattern and all that yuckity stuff. So let's just go ahead and see what happens when we do this. So it gives us a command prompt, essentially, or hopefully. So let's type in heal Beth. Oh, it got us here. Let's go ahead and continue. And it gave us our status bar again. So now that we've removed our breakpoint, heal Beth, fight Beth, Gary attacks for 8 damage, heal Beth, fight Beth. So, I actually have goosebumps a little bit. I have goosebumps because I've never written a game before, right? So, this is fun. It's super fun. So we're in this place now where we can actually play the game. We can heal Beth, we can fight Beth. You might want to clean up some of the things. Like, do we really need to see this over and over again? Maybe not. Let's take a look at how we might do that. So, on our command prompts, we're displaying the command and then we're drawing the status bar. Let's go on our displayed command. Is the damage value changing? The damage value shouldn't change. We'll double check that in a second. So we're replacing the last line with the message. We have to do some more tricky stuff here with a replace last line to make sure we're really cleaning up. Let's go back in. Because ideally, what I'd see is this whole line would go away, and I would just see Gary attacks for 8 damage. Okay. So we got heal, we got fight wired up. And that's really the only 2 commands we got wired up anywhere in the system. But we automatically, we already have this platform to do other things. Like I might want to look at Beth. And we don't have anything in there right now for look. Let's stop for a second and go into our hive mind. Or hive mind. And go to declaration for the game actions. So we've got fight, heal, repair, negotiate, why not look and we might do quit, but not before we're ready. So inside of our hive mind, case game actions, look. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, not tricky, but iGame object. Every game object should have a description. So inside of our player has a description. We say get description as an exposed method. We might have to come back to this as far as how we want to wire all that up. Instead of our base actor, actor. Let's do this. We're going to say that every actor, and so that's players and monsters, should also have a string get description. When our base actor is going to be I'm going to say public virtual get description. It's going to cry at me all day long. Okay, so return there's nothing to see here. I could return an error. I want to be nice. I'm going to say public string description get return and get description. Okay, that's fair. Does it want to set? I don't even know if I want to give this a set in a backing property. Okay, so that's closer to what we want. So I've already defined description in my base game object. It makes things a little bit trickier. A little bit trickier. Alright. So just to give you an idea of what this thing wants me to do, it's saying, hey, you're hiding this. You should really give it a new quantifier. I'll just show you what happens when you do that. That's it. It says new string, blah, blah, blah. Nothing crazy. But it's not ideal. It's hiding a problem. I'll tell you what I do. I'll make all this I'll convert a base game object. I'll put that there as a virtual string. And then for my description, I'll return get description. Missing a set. Also fine. So I'll go into the iGame object next. And I'll say for description, you don't need a set. And then all is well. So essentially what we're saying is that we're going all the way back down the rabbit hole to the base game object, and we're saying you're going to have a description, but we really want that to be filled in by the implementing class. And to do that, we're going to give it a method called getDescription, which is virtual. So if you do nothing, it's going to say, hey, there's nothing to see here. But which cleans up our base actor, and we're going to go ahead and defer that responsibility all the way out to the player, and we'll say public override string get description. This is where the magic of polymorphism, the magic of inheritance, and the magic of all those things comes in, the magic of OOP. So now we've got this guy, this get description. And if I come all the way back out to my hive mind now, when I say look at something, now everything in the game has a description. And everything in the game has a base functionality for what happens when I call description. So for this command, I can do a response is equal to new game response, message is equal to, target dot description, and I'll just say was successful is equal to false, and game request oh hello just do this, amount is equal to 0, and then request. Oh, I just wasn't saying it correctly. Well, boo on you. Alright, and the request is, I'm already getting in a request, so I'll just pass that in here. And then I will break. So I'll come back over to my, where were we? I got render, display command. Oh, I'll make that true. I'm sorry. I was going to make it false to kind of piggyback on the false console coloring. But we come back into render. I'll say, because we're going to display this command, I'll say case game actions equal to look, console.foreground color is equal to console color yellow. Replace last line with response.message, console.reset color, and then break. And then, inside my command parser, I'm just going to copy all that jazz. And let's say if it starts with look, Escotide asks, is there any difference between passing was not successful? Nothing except for consistency. So because inside of HiveMind, I'm doing all my was successful checks kind of right here in line. But I want to be consistent because technically this command did succeed. So later on down the line, I might